As I said last time, Frank Robinson was one of the top 30 players to ever play this game. He was the only player to win the MVP award in both leagues. He was the first African-American manager, yet he still somehow managed to be overlooked. At the same time as Mays, Mantle, Aaron and Clemente will do that to a guy. Hall of Famer Frank Robinson died at age 83. The baseball community reacted to his passing. More condolences from MLB on Robinson. Steve Gardner sums up Robinson's career and also makes my point about Robinson being underrated. Michael Bowman notes that Robinson was a trailblazer on and off the field. Ken Rosenthal has his memories of Robinson, whom he covered as a young beat reporter for the Orioles in the late 80s. Above all, Rosenthal emphasizes Robinson's passion and pride. The Athletic sub. REQ, Tim Kirkjian was also a beat writer for the Orioles at the same time as Rosenthal, and Rosenthal's article notes how Kirkjian loved to troll Robinson with comments like, "So Frank, you hit 563 home runs, right?" Robinson hit 586 and would angrily let Kirkjian know that. Kirkjian emphasizes Robinson's drive-in competitiveness and notes that no one got to embarrass Robinson twice. Tom Verducci talks about a passion for the game that made Robinson special. He also notes that Robinson always felt he had to set an example for others, and his insistence that his players live up to his example sometimes got in the way of his managing. Tim Brown talks about Robinson's toughness, and has an anecdote from his managing days with the Nationals that Brown feels reveals Robinson's real character and the pride that he took in the game. Matt Kelly has 10 great moments from Robinson's career. "We have a trade and it's actually a major deal. The Marlins have finally traded catcher JT Realmuto and the Phillies have landed Realmuto for 3 players and international pool money. Keith Law thinks the deal is fair, but that all hinges on how good top prospect Sixto Sanchez turns out." ESPN sub. REQ, Jeff Sullivan notes that Sanchez is a real boom or bust type of prospect and that the Marlins traded Realmuto for what's behind door number 2. He might be a new car or it might be a zonk. Dane Perry thinks the Marlins did poorly in the deal. That means the Phillies did well, naturally. Paul Hembecketys projects how well Realmuto will do in Philadelphia and calls him a player on the verge of superstardom. Jeff Sullivan evaluates the argument that Realmuto is the best catcher in the game. Sullivan thinks he very well might be. Realmuto's new teammate with the Pirates, Andrew McCutchen, wants to discuss the time he tried to jump over Realmuto at home plate with him. Jonah Carey thinks the Phillies getting Realmuto makes them a lot better and adds to the fascinating NL East. David Schoenfield wonders if Realmuto going to the Phillies could entice either Bryce Harper or Manny Machado to sign with Philadelphia. Harper met with representatives of the Giants. As Jeff Passan notes in that piece, it's unclear as to how serious the Giants are about making Harper an offer. Passan also argues that baseball's free agent market is broken and that the time is now for MLB and the Players Association to fix the issue and that they can't wait until the next collective bargaining talks. Passan does find optimism in the recent talks about rules changes. Tim Brown believes that baseball needs to do something to improve the game, so it's probably worth trying some of these rules changes. On those rules changes, Mike Oz ranks the proposed changes from best to worst. Gabe Black warns that some of the proposed rules could have unintended and unwanted side effects. Buster Olney looks at which teams would benefit the most from the National League adopting the designated hitter rule. ESPN sub. REQ, say, why is there a picture of Kyle Schwarber attached to this article? Mets ace Noah Syndergaard is no fan of the DH in the NL. Chris Bowden looks back at the history of the first labor negotiations between players and owners in 1887. Charlie Vassalaro looks at how baseball's integration in the 1940s led to the creation of the Cactus League and spring training in Arizona. Former outfielder Lenny Dykstra continues to get into trouble as he's now been accused of turning a quiet New Jersey neighborhood into a den of drugs and prostitution. Coley Harvey has good piece on this story of Yankees outfielder Clint Frazier and his battle to recover from concussion symptoms that cost him most of the 2018 season. Frazier feels ready to go full bore for spring training. The Rangers have signed outfielder Hunter Pence to a minor league deal. Stephen Stevenson gets an explanation to why the new Rangers ballpark will have artificial turf. Tony La Russa once again defends the election of Harold Baines to the Hall of Fame, and Bill Bear rips his arguments to shreds. The Rays are bringing back their Rainbow 90s Devil Rays uniforms for 4 games this season. Yankees reliever Zach Britton no longer wants to be called Zach Britton. From now on, he will go by Zach Britton. And my publishing software is telling me that's wrong. And finally, this umpire goes all Frank Drebin with this basketball-themed third strike call. And tomorrow will be a better day than today, Buster.